Welcome back, folks. We are back on Johnny Salami, back in Lemansk. Once you complete the quest line for Arkanov and receive whichever camo you get for your weapon and your armor, this quest becomes available from Raffa inside Lemansk. He's going to be right here in this little gas station, just to the southwest of where the bloodsucker spawns, and just straight north of where the giant rat den is. But he'll be chilling here, so we're going to talk to him. Easy, easy. Don't do anything stupid. I won't hurt you, and you won't hurt me. We'll behave like civilized people. What do you say? Sounds good. Are you on your own here? Stalker grins. I'm alone. Don't worry. There's no ambush here. That is a badass looking armor he's got on. Sorry. I'm Raffa, by the way. I came here with a squad from the bar, but the rest of the guys went on to the north side of town to complete a quest for some professor. I fell behind. Why did you fall behind? My friend sent me the location of a stash. I'm not greedy, but I didn't want to share it with a whole bunch of stalkers. I thought about it tactically, and I decided to fall away from the pack for a while. I'll do my thing, then I'll make my way back to them. Couldn't it be a bit risky to go after a stash all by yourself? Raffa shakes his head pensively. Right you are. Well, as long as we don't have a big appetite, we can carve this job up between us. You seem like a normal guy. My first impression is right, and we should work well together. Do you have a plan? I need some time to prepare. Here's what we'll do. I'll mark a point on your map, and we'll meet there when I'm ready. Okie dokie? No problem. Great. You got any questions for me? Yeah, let's ask him some stuff. Why not? What are you doing in the zone? Making ends meet, slowly saving up some money. Life on the mainland was much worse for me than in the zone, you know? I don't want to complain, but my wife and I recently divorced. She took custody of our daughter, not because she loves her, but because she's a hateful bitch. I want to provide my daughter with a better life, but I need to make some capital first. What do you know about the squad you came with to Lemansk? They're young hotheads. They started working for some professor, I don't remember the name exactly, but I think it was something real short. I didn't ask him much about it, you know? I just needed the company. And I'm going to say no more questions. I'll see you then. And now we get the quest Raffa. So tell him see you later. And now we have to go over here to the meeting place. And it looks like that's the only one there. So I'm going to head all the way over there, and I will see you guys here in a second. All right, we are over at the meeting place. It's going to be this building in the middle of this little swampy area here to the far west. That's the middle west of the map, essentially directly west of this little circle area here. And to get to the area we need to go, you got to go through the water in the middle here on the ground floor and come up. The meeting is going to take place in one of these rooms over here. And this is Raffa. So now Raffa is complete. We get a pouch of 7.62 sniper, some guide first aid kits, a Hercules, and a energy drink. Someone has brutally murdered Raffa, shot him from behind, and stripped him of all his more or less valuable gear. Who's responsible for this? Monolith members, common robbers? It's impossible to say. So now we're going to go back to where Raffa was. All right, we're back at Raffa, which he's obviously not dead. Easy, easy. Don't do anything stupid. I won't hurt you, and you won't hurt me. We'll behave like civilized people. What do you say? What? What are you doing, kid? Raffa, I've seen your corpse. I thought you were dead. Scratches the back of his head in bewilderment. I don't know you at all. How do you know my name? And what's this joke about seeing my corpse? Has someone put you up to this? I'm going to say, no, you're messing with me. We already know each other. We're supposed to go look for a stash together, and then I found you. You'd been killed. I've been killed. And that's why I'm standing right here in front of you, cleaning my weapon and getting ready to go out on a job. Don't you see how schizo this whole thing sounds? Maybe you should take a hike, huh? I'm going to tell him what the hell. And now we have figure out what happened to Raffa, which we're going right here to this little building to the west of this little water and bridge. So let's run up there. This is where we need to go on the map. You need to be right here. Well, like I said, it's just to the west of this little pond over here on the east side of the map. And there's a corpse right here. Stalker's corpse. Judging by the looks of the stalker, there's been some big bust up. He was seriously wounded, but he managed to make it out of the fight. He must have died of blood loss. Examine the corpse. You find some supplies, a piece of a note with instructions from a certain Professor B. And stopping time is complete, and we get Professor B. We also get 500 rubles off of him, a note, 2 morphines, American field ration, and 3 grenades. So now we have to go to Professor in the bar. But first, we're going to read this note. The note says, waiting at the bar and create temporal. Careful, Lemansk in danger. Don't delay. Stick together. So I'm going to make it back to the bar, and I will see you guys shortly. All right, we're back in the bar talking to Professor B, which is not Professor Bondarenko. Bondarenko is back there. This guy is going to be sitting at the computer on the way into Bondarenko. So we're going to talk to him. Excuse me, do we know each other? Maybe we do know each other. I'm so tired. I'm always working nights, and Professor B yawns loudly. And I seem to have forgotten half my life. Professor B, is that you? Professor B nods wearily. Yep, that's me. Do we know each other? And you can tell him, yeah, we work together on the Dead Time Project, or no. I'm going to tell him we work together on the Dead Time Project. Oh, it's been such a long time. Too long. Forgive me. I'm sorry I couldn't remember you. The Dead Time Project is a total calamity. A calamity that's going to consume all my time, it seems. What do you mean? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to lay all my troubles on you. Do you have a specific question for me? You sent a group of hired stalkers into Lemansk, didn't you? Yes, you see, I'm studying temporal anomalies, and in order to better understand how they work, they may well be vivid manifestations of temporal energy in such a remarkable place as Lemansk. Why do you need this research? Firstly, I'm simply passionate about it, and secondly, these temporal anomalies are responsible for the mysterious disappearance of my former colleague and leader of the Dead Time Project, Professor Kostelevsky. If I could just Bring him back? You want Kostalevsky back? As a scientist, I try to avoid excessive daydreaming, even if it allows us to revive our enthusiasm sometimes. Professor Kostalevsky was trapped in the zone. If his body somehow managed to survive, then his consciousness must have been destroyed. But if I could just understand the inner workings of this trap, how it all works, understand, but what happened to the squad you sent? They haven't been in touch. I've heard Limansk is a dangerous place, but I'm hoping for the best. Hate to be the bearer of bad news, Professor, but I know that at least one of the members is dead. I found him. That's regrettable. I can't do anything about it. I'm just doing my job. If any of them make it back with what I need, it'll be all right. I have one more question I wanted to ask you, Professor. In Limansk, I came across a very strange stalker. You might think I'm crazy, but... And then you're going to tell him about Raffa. Crazy? You think that's crazy? This is the clearest proof that there really is a temporal anomaly in Limansk. And judging by your description, it's stable. We must study this phenomenon. Have you got a plan? Well, I wouldn't call it a ready-made plan, but I can't exactly ignore this story. A thorough scientific study is needed here. I'll need more equipment for this. Where's your scientific inventory? You see, I was away from the zone for a while, and in order to get back to the bar without incident, I had to ask for help from this gang. When we got to the bar, they kept pestering me to increase their payments. Well, I didn't have any money, so I just paid them in equipment. Can I get it back for you? If they haven't sold it yet, then sure. Listen, if you help me, then don't worry. I can get you something as a reward. What I mean to say is I'll pay you well for your efforts. Doesn't sound too promising, but I'm in. Good, the leader of the gang is called Gretcha. They went off somewhere in the direction of the radar station, so you'll have to look for him there. So that completes Professor B, and now we get danger pay. The radar station, well, that's a long way. I'll try to track him down. And this next part is going to differ depending on if you're a bandit or a stalker. I'm only going to be able to show you the bandit perspective here because I'm on my bandit, so... And we're going to have to go all the way up into the north again, into the dead forest, way up here, north of the Duga. So I am going to run all the way back up there, and I'll see you guys shortly. All right, so we are up in the north in the red forest. Oh my God. We were aggro and shit. You're going to come to the southeast edge over here of this little encampment up north. There's usually a couple bloodsucker dens that spawn up here, and then there's a camp up back here, usually of like mercenaries, freedom, whatever. And in this building... right here, you're going to come inside, go all the way to the back, hang a left, hang a right, and then downstairs there's going to be Gretcha and two of his soldiers. This is who you're looking for right here. So let's talk to him. Oh, you're lucky that we're already on the clock, Stalker. I'd rip you a new one, the bandit grins. Come on, I'm only kidding, probably. What do you want? Are you Gretcha? Did you come to the bar with Professor B? Yeah, he was one of my recent clients. He screwed up the payments a bit, and well, I had to take his gear instead. So what, are you protecting him? Well, let's just say I want his equipment back. Man, you know, bro, I don't even particularly want his equipment. They're offering me pennies for it. I was just going to throw it out. So why not just give it to me then? You can get rid of the unnecessary junk. You know, I think that everything in our society should be resolved based on respect. I'd give this junk to a respected bandit for nothing, but your reputation's lacking. I could give you some work. You take care of it for me, and I'll give you the equipment that belongs to your wimpy professor. And I'm going to tell him I'm pretty well known. I'm curious. I'm going to tell him I'm pretty well known and tell him about my exploits. Well, that's not impressive, buddy. You can sidle around here and there all you want, but that doesn't bring you lifelong respect. If you're lacking reputation, you could always do some work for me. So I guess we have to take his job. We're here as hired muscle on behalf of some scientists. When some kind of passageways to Limansk have opened, they figured that they'd need someone to monitor the area in case of any more bubbles appear. Here, place these scanners at the points I show you. They'll immediately register any new bubbles that appear. So we get searching for doors. And he gives us 4 of the scanners. And let's see where we got to put these stupid things. Oh, it doesn't tell you where all they have to go. It just tells you where the first one goes. So the first scanner is going to be right here at the crossroads between the Duga and these dorms over here. So let's run over there. So that one's installed. The second one apparently is going to be in Yanov. So that's just great. So let's run to Yanov. Yanov sucks, by the way. The amount of bio areas and shit that are in Yanov is just ridiculous. And since I don't really know my way around this area, I never remember where the bio areas are, and I always just run straight through them and almost die every time. So this one's going to be right here in this building, which I really don't know how to give you any waypoints for this one. It's going to be up top on the top of this, though. So you just come through here. You might be able to do it through the floor. No. Damn it. Oh, here we go. Ladder. And that one's on top. So they seem to have fixed the quest chain for the scientist suit. Now it's showing that the 4th scanner is here and the 3rd scanner is over here in Yanov, where they both were in backwater. But when I was in the base a second ago, it still showed them in backwater. So as soon as I zoned into Red Forest, it updated and was like, oh, it's right here. I'm going to go see if it'll let me plant it. Looks like it's going to be on a building up here. Yeah, it's on top of this building right here. That's good. Let me go around here and see if I can... I think there's a ladder over here. Yeah, oh, there's a stairs. Good. I'm pretty sure this is for that quest. Let's see. Nice. Okay. So it is fixed. It may not show you the correct location if you're in the base. I'm gonna head over and do the third one. I'll see you guys here in a second. So just to prove I'm not crazy, I probably am, but now that I'm back in the Covenant Underground, the third scanner is showing being way over here in the backwater again, when really somewhere down here. I'm not really sure. I think it was somewhere between these two entries here. So I'm gonna run back over there. I'll see you guys here in a second. All right, we are where we need to be. We're in Yanav outskirts here, and it's just to the northeast of this Army Warehouse outskirts border right here, and it's just chilling right here. Boom. Now we have to go back and talk to Gretcha again, all the way back up in the Red Forest. So I'm going to run all the way back up there, and I'll see you guys shortly. All right, let's talk to Gretcha. So are you done with those scanners? I hope so. My hands are itching to get rid of this junk you took from your buddy. Yes, I finished the job. And that ends danger pay and return the equipment, and we get guns blazing received. Excellent. So now you get a box of Professor B's equipment, and it's only 100 grams, so you don't have to worry about being overweight because of it, most likely. Now we just got to go all the way back to the bar and talk to Professor B, so I'll see you guys once we make it all the way back down there. All right, we are back at the bar, going to talk to Professor B again. Hello again. I didn't forget you this time. I remember you very well. Have you managed to get my equipment back? Son of a bitch, I left it. I left it in my inventory. Hang on. Here, Professor, take it. It's all safe and in one place. Wonderful. Now I don't have to worry any longer about not having enough tools to replicate. To replicate what? The group of stalkers that I sent to Lemansk was equipped with a special device that indicates the presence of temporal anomalies. Unfortunately, due to the fact that I didn't have my own equipment, I was unable to create another similar device. So I take it the stalkers didn't return. I'm afraid there's nothing more we can do. Let's just get down to business. To defeat the Hun. So we need to try and figure out what happened to Raffa. Among other things. Now I just need to tinker a little with my equipment, and I'll explain everything to you. Go ahead, Professor. Professor B mumbles to himself under his breath and occasionally grunts as he assembles a device of some kind from the pile of junk. It's ready. Now what? The device is a copy of the one that I gave to the group of stalkers. Your job is fairly simple. Head to Lemansk and kill the required number of mutants. Lemansk mutants are more closely linked with the new sphere than their relatives in the other areas of the zones are, so if there's too many of them, that can prevent the device from working properly. Once you've killed the mutants, you'll need to check some places that I've marked for you. I think temporal anomalies should manifest their peak level of activity in those places. Is that all? I hope. Yes, the main thing is to bring the device to me safe and sound and don't tarry. If you head off somewhere else in the middle of completing this task, or if something happens to you, we'll have to restart the experiment from scratch to ensure the results are not compromised. Be careful and try not to get caught up in any gunfight. Really, Professor? A shootout in Lemansk? How is that even possible? I know the task seems like a challenging one, but with the necessary determination, I have no doubt you'll manage it. Good luck. So guns blazing is complete. We get the device, which is the temporal measurement device. And now we get Professor B's experiments part 1. I won't waste any time, Professor. See you. And we have to kill a pseudo-giant chimera, 20 dogs and 20 boars without dying. So I'm going to go to Lemansk and beat my head against this proverbial brick wall and try to kill all of these things without dying. If and when I ever complete this, I will see you before we run to the different areas with the measurement device that he wants us to go and check for temporal anomalies. So I'll catch you guys in a second. So just a little heads up as to where we're at with this quest. I have killed everything except for the Chimera. We've killed 2 pseudo-giants. Can't find a Chimera. I've got a head block here. He offered to come help me kill this shit to increase my chance of not dying since there's more than one person. We can't find a Chimera. We are going to continue to run around for a while and pray that one finally spawns somewhere. Holy shit, we finally found a Chimera. So now we have to go to 4 areas on the map, and thankfully one of them's down here where we're at, and it actually pops up on the map first location. So we're going to go to the first location. Oh, it just updated immediately. Okay. Second location is going to be in the middle of the fountain here. All right, so the second location's been updated. And the third one's going to be way over here in the west of the map. Okay, so the third one updated. Like, the worst part about this quest so far is not the fact that you have to do all of this stuff without dying. It's that you're at the mercy of RNG as to if the things are going to spawn. And this one's back inside the Chimera Den, so you might want to get this one done fast if it's not up. All right. And thankfully, there's a space bubble right here. And we both got IDs from killing the Chimera earlier. I killed the Chimera boss to see if it counted as a Chimera. It does not. So I was getting kind of desperate because one was not spawning. So I was like, oh, fuck it. Let's try to kill it. Honestly, I would say, first of all, if you can get a group for it, please take a group because it's going to be terrible either way. Don't kill the boars and the dogs first. Go and try to find the chimera and the pseudo giant at night. And if you can get both of those killed, then start trying to kill all the other shit you need to kill. If you go out there and kill all the dogs and all of the boars every time you go to attempt this, and then you never find the chimera and you die to, whatever, you're going to get real irritated real quick. So now I got to run back to the bar, talk to Dr. B. So I'll see you guys once I get there. All right, we are back at the bar, turning into Professor B. You're back. So is the device intact? Did you gather some readings for me? Yeah, but I don't think I can decipher them. Take a look for yourself. You can't possibly imagine how intrigued I am. Lamans could turn our understanding of temporal anomalies completely on its head. I'm sure of it. Professor B stares at the device for a few seconds. His ecstatic expression turns into a grimace of disappointment. What's up, Professor? Is there a fault with the device? No, I don't know. This is some kind of error. It's just absurd. The device is showing there aren't any temporal anomalies in Lamansk at all. So what does that mean? Until now, my assumption about the presence of temporal anomalies in Lamansk were based on the fact that, like the Red Time Laboratory, it appeared all of a sudden out of nowhere. I thought that the manner in which it appeared was a result of a distortion of space-time. In plain English, that means Operation Dead Time was conducted in a laboratory that appeared in the zone thanks to the incident of some sort, as if the lab had written somehow into the zone's subcortex. It's like when facts suddenly arise in the human memory. Lamansk isn't much like a town of memories, more like a ghost town. Yes, I realize that, but its sudden appearance and the rumors that were going around about it, it was as if the kind of wandering city that appears one moment's gone the next. Perhaps the rumors were somewhat exaggerated and Lamansk doesn't disappear. Maybe the zone just closes off or opens up access to it as a result of anomalous shifts. I get it, but what's that got to do with Raffa? That's the question that's vexing me. You definitely haven't tricked me or allowed someone to trick you, because the phenomenon that you're describing is in and of itself persuasive evidence that part of Lamansk has been subjected to a space-time distortion. I don't know, I just told you everything I saw. He's gotten stuck in a time loop, in a stable time loop, damn it. Do I have to go in there myself? And Professor B suddenly stops mid-sentence and becomes lost in thought. Professor? Are you there? Hello? Unless it confirms Dr. Zeltz's theory. Which Dr. Zeltz? What are you on about? He was a famous scientist, but a rather odious person. If you hadn't noticed, when Lamansk opened, it attracted a whole bunch of scientific experts into the zone. Maybe Dr. Zeltz's notes could help us establish the truth. I'm going to tell him you're both scientists. Why can't you just come to an agreement between you? And may I ask if you get on well with every stalker you meet? Dr. Zeltz is a complicated person. He's not interested in science for the sake of learning, but for the sake of glory. He's narcissistic and vain. Zeltz is one of the scientists who are concerned less about the outcome of an experiment than the interview that follows it. An egotistical peacock. So how are we going to get hold of his notes? And wasting time is complete and we get a new theory. Okay, I'll think of something. We have to negotiate with Dr. Zeltz, and he's going to be over here in the bar. So all the way back over where the 100 Rads bar area is. He's right here to the left of it. So let's talk to him. What do you need from me? I don't give handouts. I don't drink in the company of riffraff, and I don't buy junk that, in your erroneous opinion, has some kind of value. Leave me in peace. You're Dr. Zeltz, aren't you? The Dr. Zeltz, the world-famous scientist? I'm going to tell him that one. Of course, even the dogs know that I came to the zone. If you're trying to impress me with your bootlicking, you're wasting your time. I'm not interested in compliments from people of your kind. Actually, I'm here on business. I'm interested in your notes about the Munich Theory. Oh, you're a little more erudite than I thought. However, I don't share my notes with just anyone. You'll have to forgive me, but I'm not a branch of the state library. Besides, I have more important business to attend to. Some stalkers who I sent out on a mission are missing, and the journalists will be here soon. Journalists? I don't see anyone, you know. I always attract the attention of reporters, you'll see. They're just not all that prompt, but I'm sure someone will come to do an interview with me soon. I can't imagine another way. And at this point, if you gave Lyson the interview in the earlier quest for Arkanov, you can use him to skip the next part of the quest. You won't have to go and find the bodies of his scientists. So I did that. I'm going to try that. I'm going to say I'm a NOAA journalist, a guy called Nikita Lyson. I could persuade him to do an interview with you. Really? Dr. Zeltz exclaims with excitement before coughing loudly and reassuring his calm, sarcastic demeanor. Well, I wouldn't be against doing an interview with your journalist friend. Perhaps I'll share my notes with you afterwards as a sign of my generosity. Now, if you do this way, it's going to take an hour of real time. So if you set up the interview with Lyson because you let him interview you earlier, you skip the next part where you have to go to Lamansk and find the bodies of the scientists, but you also have to wait a real world hour before he's done with his interview with Lyson and he gives you his notes. I don't feel like going back to Lamansk right now. I'm going to take the hour break. So a new theory is complete and a journalist's help is received. Excellent. I'll go talk to Lyson and set everything up. And now Lyson's going to be back over here next to where the mail guy is, the courier. Oh, the star of my interview. Did you know that some soldiers are very interested in him? Things will heat up. It's all very well, but I wanted to ask you for your help. Well, you gave me a pretty decent interview. I think I'm prepared to hear out your request. You like doing these interviews, don't you? Well, I'd like to set up another one for you. What? You like getting attention from the press so much you want to do it again? You've gotten famous? Not quite. I need you to interview a scientist. He's the one who's gotten famous. His name is Dr. Zeltz. Geez, I know that loser. I've yet to interview anyone more boring than him. I'd rather interview a snork than that Zeltz guy. So are you going to help me? Yeah, of course. For me, it's all part of my professional development, as well as an opportunity to put my nervous system to the test. I need to prepare a few things and I'll conduct the interview. So a journalist's help is complete and we get the long-awaited interview. That's great. Thanks. And now you'll see the quest pops up 59 minutes, 38 seconds. We have to wait a real hour. So I will see you once this is done. All right. It's been an hour in real time. So let's talk to Zeltz again. Dr. Zeltz mutters something under his breath. I think it was sufficiently... No, I definitely charmed him. The article should turn out to be fascinating. Yep, that journalist is sure to return for more. Dr. Zeltz, how did your interview go? It went fine, just fine. The journalist of yours is a bit of an amateur, of course, but that's almost forgivable in this day and age. Time to add professional journalists to the endangered species list, it seems. So are we good with our deal? Are you going to share your notes now? Oh, of course, our agreement. You wanted to familiarize yourself in more detail with the thesis of my Munich Theory. Here, I prepared a copy of my notes. If you are sufficiently educated, you may be able to glean something from these materials. And that completes the price of glory, and we get the Munich Theory. Thank you, Dr. Zeltz. I appreciate your understanding. I'm actually going to talk to Lyson again. He's fucking tired of hearing that guy talk. So now we go back over and talk to Dr. B again. You're back. Do you have any news from Dr. Zeltz? Did you manage to get a hold of the text about the Munich Theory? Yep, here are the papers. Just as I thought. But now I need to spend some time studying this. You catch my drift? Gotcha, I'll wait. Professor B spends quite some time studying the documents, then fiddles around with his devices. You're about to fall asleep when he finally tears himself away from his work. Well, it looks like we're ready to test out the theory in practice. Finally, well, what did you find? Well, it's hard to explain. Here, I've developed a new device. I need you to take it hunting with you. Listen carefully. From time to time, the mutants in Lamance will generate so-called clots. Usually, stalkers ignore them, which is completely understandable. The substance on which these clots are based emanates from sweat glands and it looks like whitish, malodorous fat. Only this time, the fat serves some purpose, right? I believe that its specific role is somehow related to the increased influence of the noosphere on all life in Lamance. Basically, you need to go and collect a decent amount of these clots, then kill some particularly strong mutants. The device should be with you, safe and sound. After the experiment, bring the clots straight to me so that we can get the maximum use out of them. I don't understand. What's the point of these experiments? I'll explain the details to you, but afterwards, okay? The main thing is you need to work fast and not make any mistakes. If you decide to abandon the experiment at any stage, you'll have to start over from the beginning. And that completes Munich Theory, and we get the Storm Part 1. So now we have to go get 20 clots in Lamance from mutants. After that, we have to kill all 3 bosses, and then we just have to bring the clots back to him. So I'm gonna go back to Lamance and try to get this knocked out, and I will see you guys shortly. All right, so we're up here. We have the mysterious device. We need to get 20 clots from mutants. So we're just gonna see if it drops 100% from every mutant den, or if it drops from each mutant itself. I think it drops from each den. So there should be a clot in here. So we have to get 20 clots without dying, which I'm going to be honest, I am not looking forward to. All right, so I am going to try and knock out these mutant dens without dying, and I'll see you guys if I am successful. All right, so we have 20 clots. Now we have to kill the Phantom Chimera, Bloodsucker, and the Rat Giant, which sucks because you have to do that while it's in your inventory, I think. I'm going to go try to put it in my stash and see what happens, so let's go see. Nope, it seems like I can put them in my stash so that I don't have to go and farm them again. So I should be able to go get credit for killing them without having the clots on me so that if somebody tosses my bag, I don't lose my progress. So I'm going to go try to kill these bosses and I'll see you guys shortly. By the way, you can die while you're getting the clots because they're a barter item that doesn't disappear, thank God. You'll just have to go pick them back up off of your body. So they're kind of like the flash drives were for that one quest. So I have, like I said, I've got all 20 of them. I just have to go kill all 3 bosses now. And I really hope that you don't have to have the clots on you for it to count. We're going to find out. Okay, so I died to the boss. I don't know what happened. It glitched out, but can confirm that as long as you've got the 20 items in your stash, it resets the quest, but you just have to come back in here, go to your stash, take the 20 items out, and it updates it again to say, okay, now go kill the bosses. As long as you keep them in your stash, you're good. All right, so we just killed the Rat King. I hate this boss. Okay, so that's 1 down. I think if you die between bosses, you got to do it all over again. Okay, so 2 bosses down. The last one is the probably worst one. It's the Chimera, and that one's the one that's probably going to kill me more than the other 2. I'm gonna go up there and try to kill him. I'll see you guys here in a second. All right, cannot believe that we soloed him as well without dying. Let's go loot this just to see. And now we gotta go snag our 20 clots. And there's a pseudo giant. That is exactly what I need. Now's the dangerous part because I just have to leave, which means I have to find a working teleporter. Oh my god, the damn pseudo giant's back. I'm out. Fuck that. Holy shit. I did not want to have to do all that again. That's to show that it is possible to do that solo. It is nerve-wracking. Like, getting the 20 is fine because you can always just, you know, go get your bag and you're good to go. I'm pretty sure that if you die after you've gotten the 20 and you've killed like one of the bosses, I think you might have to re-kill that boss. I'm not sure. If anybody in the comments knows, go ahead and say yes, you have to re-kill all 3 bosses or whatever without dying. Because if that's the case, that is terrible. But I'm going to run all the way to the bar and I'll see you guys once we get back to Professor B. All right, we're back at Professor B. You're back. Is everything okay with the device? Did you manage to complete all the tasks to ensure that our experiment's reliable? I collected the clots, killed a whole bunch of monsters, and the device is fine, which is more than can be said for me. I'm really tired, Professor. I understand it's hard, and right now I want to know what the point of all this was. I hope that this time I haven't sweated my ass off for nothing. Give me a couple minutes. I want to take a look at our devices showing, and Professor B studies the data you've collected. Of course. It seems that Zeltz was right. Until just now, I'd been unable to verify it, but now everything is falling into place. To hell with the Munich Theory. So what does all that mean? Will someone please explain it to me finally? The Munich Theory, also known as residual image theory, postulates that in places where the highest level of anomalous activity, places to which the noosphere most actively releases its energy by dispersing traces of it, you can likely encounter, well, let's call it a ghost. A ghost. You're trying to tell me that Raffa, who I encountered, was the spirit of a dead stalker. No, nothing quite as crazy as that. Ultimately, it's fairly simple. The noosphere is closely linked to our ideas and thoughts. In areas where there increased anomalous activity, extreme emotions and unrestrained human thought can create an invisible link with the noosphere. I still don't get it. Your Raffa was the subject of some strong emotions. To come back to our analogy with ghosts and spirits, imagine that he'd had some unfinished business, about which he'd constantly thought and worried. And what's that got to do with the noosphere? His range of emotions became something of a beacon for the noosphere. It reacted to them, creating a psychoactive black hole around him, which created the image of him, so to speak. It's likely that the stalker you met the first time was alive and well, but the second time you were dealing with a projection of him. The projection seemed pretty alive the way it reacted to me. I guess that reflects the quality of which the zone created the psychoactive impression of your friend. Even in a place like Le Mans, such an interesting private reaction in the form of a creation of so-called residual image seems to me to be quite unique. But what was the point of all that running around I did with your device, collecting clots and killing mutants? The clots were used so that the noosphere in Le Mans area could read you better. The mutants there are covered with them for a reason. Killing the strong species caused you to manifest powerful emotions and feeling, as well as thoughts of life, death, and the meaning of existence. Basically, everything that could, in theory, create a residual image of you. You could have just asked me about whether aliens exist or, you know, what's tastier, potatoes or cabbage. I couldn't tell you the conditions of the experiment beforehand, or that would have called the reliability into question. If you'd known how it worked, your reasoning could have ended up being overly artificial and negatively influenced the results. But everything worked, right? Yes, the device is showing high activity of anomalous energy around you. We're really lucky that everything has fallen into place this way. So that means my residual image is somewhere in Le Mans now? No, I think indeed not. I suppose the emotional and mental intensity must reach a specific peak and coincide with a certain phase of the noosphere's activity. Basically, although the conditions for creating new residual images exist in Le Mans, I think it's still a rarity when they actually appear. So what are we going to do now? I want to check the quality of this psychoactive impression that we're calling a residual image, see how we can affect it. If the residual image is based on powerful emotion, then maybe we can dissipate the image by quelling that emotion. Sounds interesting, but I have no idea what could have been bothering Raffa. Maybe you could ask the local residents, who knows? Perhaps some of his friends or acquaintances in the 100 Rads. So that ends the Anomalies Secret and we get 6 degrees of separation. So you say, I'll try there. So now we got to go down to the 100 Rads bar and question people. We're just going to come over here and talk to Curie, the bartender. A stalker who goes by Raffa. You heard of him? Raffa? Of course I've heard of him. He's an old friend. Though I haven't heard a thing from him in a while. I hope he's doing all right. A message arrived here for him, but he hasn't stopped by. A message? What message? From his daughter. Well, things weren't all okay with his family. His daughter stayed with his mother by court order, even though she wanted to be with her father. It was as if Raffa always knew when a letter from his daughter would arrive, but this time his instincts let him down, it seems. Raffa's dead, Curie. He died in Le Mans. Dead? Oh, I don't even want to think about it. But that's what the zone's like. Fuck, it's always the best guys who leave us all the time. I feel for you, but can you give me the letter that was for him? Sorry, what? Why would I give it to you? It's a long story, but believe me when I say I'm doing this for the sake of Raffa. Okay, no harm can come of it anyway. I don't know what to do with the letter now, and I don't need to keep it here, so take it. So that ends 6 degrees of separation. We get the note, and now we get a daughter's letter. Thanks, Curie. I'll take care of everything. Can we actually read the note? Yeah, we can. Hi, Dad. I miss you super duper bad. Even worse than that time we had to go to the stupid business trip. One of my teeth fell out. Mom got mad at me. I spilled pineapple juice on my favorite dress. Or maybe it was mixed fruit. Doesn't matter. Daddy, I'm never going to drink juice again. Juice is stupid. That's what I think. Mom's mad, but the spot where my tooth was hurts all the time now. It makes me mad, really. Super duper mad. But not as much as I super duper miss you. Come back soon or I'll bite. Even without a tooth, I'll still bite. Mark from school found out that the hard way. Love you, Raffaello Candy. Well, that's fucking sad. I shouldn't even have fucking read that. And now we have to go all the way back to Lemansk and give him his letter from his daughter. So I'm going to run all the way back there and I will see you guys shortly. All right, back at Raffa. Hi, Raffi. Curie sent me. Here, I've got a letter from your daughter. Fuck me, a letter from Julia? I wanted to get one so badly. Seems like I headed off to Lamass too early. I should have waited. I knew a letter would come. I knew it. Idiot that I am. Don't worry, Raffa. Here, read it. Takes the letter from your hands. He seems to be entirely alive. The letter doesn't pass through his hands as it would if he were a ghost. When Raffa reads the letter from his daughter, he appears to be more alive. You're almost sure that some absurd prank is being played and that there's an actual real person in front of you. Raffa? Yulia. Sudden gust of wind sweeps the letter up into the air and carries off into the distance. Raffa's residual image disappears too. And that ends a daughter's letter, and we get the quest of the ghost. Time for me to go. And he gone. Now we just got to go back to Professor B in the bar, so I'm going to head back there and I'll see you guys shortly. All right, we're back at Professor B. How did it go? Did you manage to find anything about Raffa? I was able to dissipate his residual image. The bartender gave me a note from his daughter. When Raffa read it, he disappeared. Professor B lets out a long sigh and becomes engrossed in thought for a few seconds. Amazing. This zone is an amazing place. Truly amazing. Some people are afraid that they aren't the masters of their own fate. It's interesting, but I'm more terrified that we aren't entirely the masters of the zone, and I spit in the face of anyone who says the opposite. So what are we going to do now? I don't know. First, I'm going to go thoroughly document everything that's happened, and then we'll see. Looks like Lemansk isn't going to help me figure out what happened to Professor Kostelevsky. All I have is time, but time will tell. Incidentally, it's now time for me to get paid. Definitely, while we are busy with our adventures, I got something for you. I hope it qualifies as a worthy reward. Thanks, Professor. Good luck with your research. And that gives us 140,000 rubles, 40,000 repair parts, a special component that immediately raises your gear to level 5. Pretty sure that's what that does. And we got the pain and suffering keychain, which is actually pretty fucking cool. So I'll probably be using that on one of my guns. And that ends the quest, the ghost. And I'll say I'll try. And that completes his little quest chain. We only have one quest chain left. We have to go and actually do the quest that gives you the scientist armor. So if this video helped you out, go ahead and drop a like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I hope you guys have a good one, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Y'all take it easy.